The auction house lights are blood red. I stand on the marble stage in nothing but black lace and diamonds at my throat, hands bound behind my back with silk rope, blindfolded. The bidding has already hit 20 million. My father's voice cracks somewhere in the front row. Please. She is all I have left. Too late. He gambled with the wrong family, and tonight, the Vitali Syndicate collects 30 million. A voice like smoke and sin calls from the shadows. The auctioneer falters. No one outbids Dante Vitali. No one dares. Sold, the auctioneer whispers as if saying it louder would get him killed. The blindfold is ripped away. For the first time, I see him. Dante, tall, in a black suit cut like a blade, eyes the color of gunmetal. A scar runs through his left brow like a warning. He does not smile. He simply crooks one finger. 2 guards drag me down the steps. My bare feet hit cold marble. I should be terrified. Instead, something electric snaps inside my chest. He stops an inch from me, tips my chin up with 2 fingers. Name, he orders. Serafina. I answer, voice steady, even though my heart tries to claw out of my ribs. He studies me like I am already his. You are mine now, Serafina. Body, breath, future. 30 million just bought every tomorrow you will ever have. I lift my chin higher. Then you overpaid. The entire room freezes. Even my father stops breathing. Dante Vitali smiles for the first time. Slow, dangerous, beautiful. Little dove, he murmurs. He has not even started spending. He slices the silk rope with a knife that appears from nowhere. The second my wrists are free, I slap him. The crack echoes like a gunshot. Blood blooms on his lip. He licks it, eyes glittering. Again, he says softly, I do not. He grabs my waist, throws me over his shoulder like I weigh nothing, and carries me out while the crowd parts like the Red Sea. Cameras flash. My father screams my name. Dante does not stop until we are in the underground garage, until he throws me into the back of a matte black Maybach, until the door slams and the divider rises. Only then does he pin me to the leather seat, hands on either side of my head. You hit me, he says, almost proud. You bought me, I hiss. We are even. He laughs, dark and velvet. No, baby. We are just getting started. Then he kisses me, not gentle, not asking. He kisses me like a man taking possession of something he already owns. And shamefully, wickedly, I kiss him back. When he pulls away, my lipstick is smeared across his mouth like war paint. Rule 1, he says, thumb brushing my swollen lip. You run, I chase, you fight, I win. You come, I allow it. I smile, slow and poisonous. Rule 2, I whisper, touch my family again, and I will cut your heart out while you sleep. His eyes flare with something feral. He drags me into his lap. Deal, he growls against my throat. But tonight, you are going to scream my name so loud, the whole city knows who you belong to. The car speeds into the night. My old life burns behind us. I should be crying. Instead, I am already wet because I know, deep in my twisted soul, Dante Vitali is not my punishment. He is my prize, and I am going to make him bleed for me too. The penthouse is 70 floors above Manhattan. Walls of black glass, city lights bleeding across the marble like spilled wine. Dante carries me straight to the bedroom, and he does not set me down until my back hits silk sheets the color of midnight. He does not speak. He just stares, slowly unbuttoning his shirt, revealing ink and scars and muscle carved from violence. I sit up on my elbows, refusing to cower. Enjoying the view? I ask, my voice dripping venom. He smirks, tossing the shirt aside. He says he paid 30 million for it, and he plans to enjoy every inch. He crawls over me, caging me with his body, but he does not touch me yet. He says it is my last chance to beg. For what? He says, mercy. I laugh, low and reckless. I say I do not want mercy. Dante, I want ruin. Something dark and hungry flashes in his eyes. He crushes his mouth to mine, teeth clashing, hands tearing lace like it offends him. When the scraps of my lingerie hit the floor, he pulls back just enough to look. Jesus fucking Christ! He breathes. Then his mouth is everywhere, on my throat and breasts and stomach. I arch off the bed, my fingers twisted in his hair, moaning his name like a prayer and a curse. He stops right before I shatter. Not yet. He growls. He says, I come. When he says, I snarl. Then I flip us with strength I did not know I had and straddle him. I sink my teeth into his shoulder hard enough to draw blood. He groans, his hands gripping my hips hard enough to bruise. He says, that is it, little dove, and he tells me to mark him and that he wants to wear me for days. I do. Again and again, until we are both bleeding and laughing and shaking. When he finally lets me come, I scream so loud the windows rattle. Afterward, he carries me to a bath the size of a swimming pool. He washes the blood and sweat from my skin with hands that could kill, but he touches me like I am sacred. I lean back against his chest, watching the city glitter below. Why me? I ask quietly. He is silent so long, I think he will not answer. Then he says the first time he saw my picture, he knew he would burn the world down to keep me, and he always keeps his promises. I turn in his arms, water sloshing. I say, I am not a thing to keep. He cups my face, his thumb tracing my swollen lip. No, he says, I am the thing that keeps him. I kiss him then, slow and deep and dangerous. I am already addicted. Morning comes too soon. His phone rings, sharp and ugly. He answers in Italian, his voice turning to ice. When he hangs up, his jaw is granite. He says, my father tried to run, and he went to the FBI. My stomach drops. Dante stands, water cascading off him like a god of war. He says, my father just signed his death warrant. I grab his wrist. No! He looks down at me, his eyes unreadable. He says my father sold me, Serafina, and he does not get to live. I stand naked and unafraid. I tell him if he kills my father, he loses me, and I swear it. For the first time, Dante Vitali looks uncertain. Then he exhales, sharp, and he pulls me against him. He says, fine, my father breathes, but he disappears forever. I nod. He kisses my forehead like a vow. He says, anything for me, little dove, anything. Later, he dresses me in one of his white shirts and diamonds at my throat, and he takes me to the rooftop helipad. A black helicopter waits. Where are we going? I ask. He smiles. All predator again. He says we are going to remind the city who owns it now and who owns him. I step into the chopper, my heart racing. I am not his prisoner anymore. I am his queen. Queens do not kneel. They rule. The charity gala is held in the old Metropolitan Club. Crystal chandeliers dripping light like melted stars. Every crime family and old money, plus politicians pretending they are clean, all gather under one roof to buy forgiveness with million-dollar bids. Dante walks in with my hand locked in his. My body is wrapped in a blood-red gown slit to the thigh. The Vitali family crest in black diamonds at my throat. There is a queen's ransom around my neck. There is also a queen's leash. Cameras flash like gunfire. Headlines write themselves before we even reach the bar. They read Dante Vitali 30 million virgin bride. First public appearance. I smile for every lens, slow and sharp and untouchable. I let them choke on it. At our table sit the 3 remaining capos who still whisper that Dante has gone soft for buying a woman. Dante pulls out my chair, kisses the inside of my wrist right where my pulse hammers, then speaks in Italian too low for microphones. He tells me to watch him remind them who he is. The auction begins. The first item is a 1943 bottle of wine from Chateau d'Yquem. Bidding climbs lazily until Dante raises his paddle. He calls out 10 million, gasps Ripple. The capos frown. The second item is a Basquiat painting. Dante does not even look up. He says 25. The room starts to sweat. The third item is a weekend on a Russian oligarch yacht. Dante leans back, his arm draped over my chair, his fingers stroking my bare shoulder. He says 50. One of the capos, Marco, finally snaps. Marco asks if Dante is insane, and he says they are not his personal bank. Dante smiles, cold as a blade. He says, everything here tonight is his, including their loyalty. He asks if they want to test it. Marco stands, his hands sliding inside his jacket. Dante moves faster. In one heartbeat, he has me behind him, and the next a gun is out, pressed under Marco's chin. Silence falls so hard the chandeliers seem to stop swinging. Dante's voice is velvet over steel. He says, if they look at me again without permission, he will take their eyes. He says, if they speak about my price again, he will take their tongue. He tells him to nod if they understand each other. Marco nods, his face gray. Dante holsters the gun, sits back down, and kisses my knuckles like nothing has happened. The auctioneer clears his throat. He declares the item sold to Mr. Vitali for 50 million. Later, on the garden terrace away from the crowd, I shove Dante against the stone wall. I ask if he almost started a war for theater. He lets me pin him, his hands sliding up my thighs under the slit. He says he started a war the day he bought me, and tonight he just ends it. I bite his bottom lip until I taste copper. I tell him he does not get to scare me like that. He laughs, low and dark. He says I was not scared. I was already wet. He is not wrong. I kiss him hard, smearing my lipstick across his mouth like a brand. When we break apart, his phone buzzes. He glances at the screen, his face turning lethal. He says my father has not disappeared. He talked to the feds, and they are coming for him tomorrow morning. My blood turns to ice. Dante cups my face. He tells me to listen carefully. He says that at 3 a.m, a car will take me to his jet. He says I fly to the island and I stay alive, and he handles the rest. I grab his tie, and I yank him close. No! I tell him we handle it together. He searches my eyes, something soft breaking through the monster. He asks if I would start a war for him. I tell him I would finish one. He kisses me like the world is ending, because it might be. Then he takes my hand, leads me back inside, and announces to the entire room. He tells the gentleman the wedding is in 2 weeks, and that anyone who misses it will not be breathing long enough to regret it. There is laughter, nervous and forced. I lean into his side, my voice loud enough for every table. I say that the bride requests blood red roses, lots of them. Dante's eyes blaze with pride. The capos raise their glasses because they finally understand. I am not the prize. I am the weapon, and I have chosen my king. 2 weeks later, the cathedral on 5th Avenue bleeds red. Thousands of blood red roses cover every arch and every pew and every step. The scent is thick and almost violent. Guests whisper that it looks like the inside of a heart ripped open. They are not wrong. I walk the aisle alone. There is no father to give me away. He is already on a fishing boat in the Arctic, bought by Dante Mercy. And by my threat. The organ plays Bach, slow and murderous. Dante waits at the altar in black with no tie and his top buttons undone. His eyes locked on me like I am the only living thing in the universe. When I reach him, he takes my hands and speaks vows that are not in any book. He says he gives me his name and his blood and his bullets, and that every enemy he has is now mine to kill. He says every kingdom he owns is now mine to burn or to rule, and that I am his religion, and he will worship me on his knees every single day he has left. I answer without blinking. I say I take his name and his blood and his bullets, and that I will stand in every fire beside him. I say I will kiss him when the world ends, and that he is my war, and I am born to fight it with him. We kiss before the priest finishes. Guns are drawn in celebration, and shots fire into the vaulted ceiling, plaster raining down like confetti. The reception is held on the roof of the Vitali Tower, city lights glittering like spilled diamonds below us. Dante keeps me glued to his side, his hand possessive on my lower back. He rings my waist with the same silk rope he cut off me the first night, now braided with black diamonds as a wedding gift. At midnight, the feds come. 20 black sport utility vehicles screech into the plaza 70 floors below. Doors fly open and SWAT teams pour out. Dante does not even look surprised. He simply raises a glass of champagne to the skyline and presses a button on his watch. Every screen in Times Square goes black and then lights up with live footage of the lead agent taking bribes from my father. The clips are time-stamped and high definition and impossible to dispute. The raid stops dead. Agents stare up at the screens, their faces pale. Within 60 seconds, their own headquarters calls them back, and the case is closed, and the evidence is suddenly corrupted. Dante turns to me, smiling like a devil who has just bought heaven. He says, he told me he handles things. I laugh wild and free, and I kiss him in front of the entire city, watching from below. Later in the glass bedroom overlooking the chaos we created, he undresses me slowly, peeling away $30,000 of lace and sin. When I stand naked except for the rope and the rings he drops to his knees and actually kneels with his head bowed, I say his name, soft and unsure. He looks up, his eyes burning. He says he told me he would worship me on his knees, and he means it. He kisses his way up my thighs, slow and reverent, until I am shaking and coming apart against his tongue with my fingers tangled in his hair, screaming his name loud enough for the helicopters outside to hear. Afterward, he carries me to the balcony and wraps me in his suit jacket and holds me while the city burns its old rules below us. Sirens wail, and headlines rewrite themselves in real time. The news calls it a Vitali wedding that ends in federal humiliation. I rest my head on his shoulder. I whisper that they are going to come for us again. He kisses my temple. He says to let them, and that we will just buy the judges or bury them. I smile against his skin, and I ask if we do it together. He tilts my chin up, his eyes fierce and soft at once. He says, together, always. Far below a news ticker scrolls that the King and Queen of New York are now untouchable. I look at the man who bought me for $30 million and who burns empires to keep me and who kneels for me. And only me. I know the truth. He has not bought a victim that night. He has found his match. I lean in and bite his ear and whisper that he should take me back to bed, because I want to ruin him tonight. He growls and lifts me and carries me inside. The city keeps screaming our names. We do not care. We have forever, and forever starts now. Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.